motion made by Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Keith, to come out of executive session. Do we have any discussion? If none, call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. I'm sorry, where's Commissioner Beverly? Oh, okay. Give him a few minutes. All right, we'll move to agenda item number 8. We have Ms. Dawn Barnett, County Tax Assessor Collector, discuss and take action on renewing the Texas Parks and Wildlife County Boat Agent Agreement.
We didn't take action on that. We came out. We came out.
They did.
Okay, did we take and say that there was no action? I'm sorry, if we did, I missed it.
There is no action. Good morning.
So, sign up the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department County Boat Agent Agreement. The county attorney's office has already reviewed it and does not see any issues with it. It's a renewal for my office to process boat and motor registrations, renewals, and titles. I just need.
We do that every year.
It's only been one. They're updating the system and they've asked for a new agreement.
Make a motion that we renew the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department County Boat Agent Agreement as presented by Long Fletcher Barnett.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Akins, second by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 8? We are not called to the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. Ayes have it. Agenda item number 9. Now we'll go back to Ms. Barnett. Discuss and take action on state of Texas upgrade to the DMV County Network fiber line installation from D Street into the tax office building with a cost of $1,500. This fiber will provide service to the entire building.
Okay, so the state of Texas is wanting to upgrade my internet service to a fiber line. They have hired Frontier to install the fiber line along D Street, and they are asking for us to pay the cost from running it from D Street into my building. We have verified with them that, Jason, how many lines? Was it 6 lines?
6 strands.
6 strands of fiber, and they've told us that we can utilize the extra strands to run the tax side of my office, so all other aspects of my office can be used on this line as well.
In my understanding, this is needed because of the upgrade to DMV's going on. It needs to have a high speed.
Correct. A couple months ago, we had a, and let me tell you why I need it for the tax side as well, and Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a issue. We discovered a strand of fiber from the courthouse to my office had broken. So for Jason and Colton had to figure out how to fix that because my entire office went down. So they had to figure out how to fix that. We do have some concerns that another fiber could break in that line. So this would solve the issue by running this into my office.
What would they come?
Am I right by saying that?
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she brought it to the court for approval because she's requesting it to come out of the, not out of her department, but out of the contingency line item in non-department reserve for unexpected expenses.
Are we good there?
I'm sorry?
Are we good there on that?
There is money allocated in that budget.
And the quote, we did ask several, we've had 4 people come out to give us a quote. Only one of them has responded, and it's the Housley Group. And once again, it's $5,800.
And they're gonna bore.
They're gonna bore underneath my, drive-through, correct?
Yeah, what's much better than hanging it over the top?
Correct.
I see you smiling. All right, Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 9.
Make a motion to approve the $5,800 to upgrade for the DMV County Network fiber line installation from B Street to the tax office building.
To be taken out of the contingency.
To be taken out of contingency.
Second.
Well, that's not making sense, I remember.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Ford, seconded by Commissioner Curdo. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 9? Here none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Agenda item number 10, discussion on the rural ambulance grant program, House Bill 3000. Commissioners, this came to us real quickly, and I've asked them to choose come on up. This is a $350,000 grant that can only be awarded only one ESP annually. So next year, so I've asked the chiefs to get together, kind of figure out who really needs it, so that there's no confusion. When I submitted this application for you, and we have come to ESP, right? And then we'll follow later. So if we get the grant, so I did get a call last night from Representative Deanne regarding this. He was not aware that I already submitted it on y'all's behalf for one deadline. It's at the end of this month. Correct. So it's been submitted. And then if we end up with the grant, which looks like we're going to get that grant, that's a no-brainer, then we'll bring it back to the court and ask to accept the funding. So just open it up for discussions. Yes.
Yeah, if I may, Judge and I had this conversation. So this follows under the SB 22 money, so it's a very simple process, but it will follow the same suit. We will get funded in the entirety of, I believe it's $300,000? $350,000. And so what I advised the judge then was, once that money is received into the county depository, then we need to be able to come back to the court to certify that revenue, and the court would then need to make a decision or vote on dispersing that money to an entity, and then we would have to then have an agreement with the entity to be able to provide the reporting, because technically that money is being awarded to Wilson County. We are then dispersing the money to a different entity, but we will still be held responsible for all of the grant reporting like we do currently for the Sheriff's Department and the County Attorney's Department as well.
Correct. And so just a little bit about that House bill. It was passed through the 89th legislature. It's the first year that they are allowing, I guess, people to put in for the grant. In that sense, it has to go through the judge putting out the application through the state website. On that application, he would basically select the person that they want, or an entity that they would want to award that money to with a backup. In the process of speaking with the judge and the other EMS directors within our county, I think communications with them, we kind of talked about the possibilities of who would be first on needs for that grant, but also making sure that, say, if we go for it this year, because it looks like it's going to be available every year after this year, that we take turns in the sense of like on a necessity basis and kind of rotate and work well together so everybody can take advantage of this grant. So it's based off of the amount of the census of the county. So we fall under $350,000. That would get awarded to the county, and then from there, right, we have 5 years. We'll be able to board the ambulance, and then from there we have 5 years to receive the ambulance. I'm gonna make that payment. So it's for EMS units and any needed equipment for that unit as well.
And Chief, that doesn't cover an ambulance 100%, correct?
It can, but again, it just needs to specific to what all the equipment, the type of ambulances, there's going to be types, sizes, and chassis and things like that. But essentially, for the units that are being ran within the county, it not in its entirety. It would pay for the ambulance is what we're looking at, but then we would still have to, at least for my department, we would have to purchase the equipment and supplies for it. But it does help out a lot. I mean, not having to pay for an ambulance, and trying to pay for the supplies and equipment, it's way better than pay for everything for that.
So just the basic ambulances that we're running in the county, that $350,000 would just pay for basic.
On average, yes, sir, on average, for what we've been looking to, because we've been in the department kind of stacking out and getting feelers from other vendors, we're looking about that range of 300 to 350. That would suit our needs, right, from our department against we have the other districts. But, we would be replacing the units, so a lot of that equipment that's already on there and supplies, just giving buildings to that community. A little bit more cost effective on that.
Chief, I do have a question though. Can you clarify, did you say that the money would not have to be expended during the year that the county receives the money?
Correct. So payment, the way it typically works is essentially we would have to place the order for the unit. Once it's placed, it can take anywhere depending on the vendor, a year to 2 years. We're looking at 2 years for a lot of places. But it'll take about 2 years, and depending on who you get it financed through, you're going to have to pay. Once you receive that, a lot of finance companies, you wouldn't have to make a payment until the year afterward. So we wouldn't be able to place that order for the unit until the funds are received. But in the sense of accepting everything and starting those payments, it wouldn't be until about 2 years once.
But the money would not be, if we give you $350,000, you're not turning around and sending the vendor that money at the time of the order.
No, ma'am.
So then for reporting purposes, we would just need to confirm that the state's not going to require us to expend it, because the way SB 22 works now is we have to expend it within the fiscal year, because if we can't provide proof that we do, then we have to return the funds back to the state. So if this particular grant has language in there that it doesn't have to be expended by the entity, just by the county providing you, and that's all we have to report, and that's sufficient enough, then that's okay. I just would like to confirm that before any money is distributed from the county, or do we get the money in the depository and the treasurer just holds on to it in a separate fund until we're ready to issue the payment to the department so that they can make the first payment in 2 years?
So from my understanding and research, we would have to be awarded that money. Like the entity would have to be awarded that money. Once we are awarded that money, then we can place the order. The purchase of that vehicle, or accepting of the delivery of the vehicle, just has to fall within those 5 years.
And I thank you guys for coming to meet with me, and y'all made it very easy for me to fill out the application, because I didn't have to worry about who's up for order and second. So thank you. I appreciate it. And item number 11, Commissioner Russell King discussed take action on precinct 2 maintenance that is an acceptance for the program to become established and true.
So I ran this through with the county attorney's office as well. So in the truck program, with this maintainer, we have to obviously punch a hole in the motor, and then we have to cut the maintainer in half, so it would be no good, you can't do anything with it at that point, part of the truck program. With that, I'm asking the court to classify this as salvage material, because 2 pieces of metal are sitting in the yard. So, and I don't know if there's any more we need to add to that.
No, because it's gone through turf, and it's
the court needs to either determine that it's salvage or surplus. And if it's salvage, then it can be broken up and sold and the money put into the, yes. If it's surplus, it's got value, and then it has to be sold at public auction. But it's my understanding that it's salvage.
I think that's precluded by the program. They want you to destroy it and make sure that it's taken out. And it's not usable. It cannot be used after that, so it would be salvaged.
That's the reason I brought it to the board for, how y'all saw this. So,
Have you destroyed it yet?
not yet, I want to.
Because they have to have photographs and all of that documentation.
So I'll make a motion to have the maintainer that we have, Kurt, the 140 Caterpillar blade as salvage material.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 11? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 12, Brenda Trevino, our town auditor, to discuss and take action on resolution for the 2026-2027 Violent Crimes Against Women Act grant number 3015411.
Judge, this is the grant for the Violent Crimes Against Women Restorative Justice Team that's out at the Office of Governor. We have a resolution that is now required to submit the application for the pre-application of this grant, which supplies the attorney salary position in the county attorney's office. I mean, I read the resolution, Judge.
Yes.
Whereas the Wilson County Commissioners Court finds it in the best interest of the citizens of Wilson County that the Violent Crimes Against Women Restorative Justice Team be operated for 2026-2027. And whereas Wilson County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the Violence Against Women Act grant application. And whereas Wilson County Commissioners Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the Office of the Governor funds, Wilson County Commissioners Court assures that the funds will be returned to the Office of the Governor in full. Whereas Wilson County Commissioners Court designates Brenda Trevino, Wilson County Auditor, as the grantee's authorized official. The authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of the applicant agency. Whereas Wilson County Commissioners Court designates Taylor Prado, the grant coordinator, as the grantee's financial officer. The financial officer is given the power to submit the financial and/or programmatic reports or alter a grant on behalf of the applicant agency. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Wilson County Commissioners Court approves the submission of the grant application for the Violent Crimes Against Women Restorative Justice Team to the Office of Governor. And once the vote is taken, then I will print a clean copy for signature. Or I have Taylor to print that.
I will entertain a motion on agenda item number 12.
Make a motion that we accept the Violent Crimes Against Women Act. It is grant number 3015411 as presented by the county auditor.
Motion made by Commissioner Akins, seconded by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding this agenda item number 12? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Now therefore be it resolved that Wilson County Commissioners Court approve the submission of the grant application for the Violent Crimes Against Women Restorative Justice Team to the Office of the Governor, passed and approved by Commissioner Court of Wilson County, Floresville, Texas, on this 26th day of January 2026.
I'll bring a clean copy, because the copy that the court received has the comment section, so I
Will we
just
get it
text Caitlin, asked her to bring them.
Yeah, if you can, before all the members
Yes.
have to go to class.
Yeah, we'll go grab it.
Well, we're submitting
All right, we move to agenda item number 13, discuss and take action to ratify and approve the 5-year cooperation agreement between Wilson County and Toshiba Financial Services, previously executed by the county judge on 9/4/2025 to authorize payment in performance under the lease. We had a new contract that came through the lower price, is that correct? What did we go for? We went from 303 to what? How much? 197. 197.
This is the last one we did, last quarter.
Yeah, we had it next.
So what, we did the approved the amendment to the last quarter. The piece of paper I have says $194.40. That's what I believe that motion was on the last quarter. Yeah. Was it $197 or $194?
194 and 47.
There's an error on the original lease agreement. It has a building address as 800 10th Street, and that is not the correct building address. Probably should be the auditor's office. That needs to be corrected.
Okay, we did that right.
I have a question. Do y'all have a color copier that came out of the permits office? It's been returned with the toner and the computer that the septic was using?
No, we don't have a copier that belongs to the department. The septic department has their own copier. When I left, I didn't have a copier for the building. We have our desk copiers, but the building copier was left in the permit and development department.
You saying somebody put that?
That's what I was saying.
Who?
It's a brand new,
Who was it?
brand new color copier. The newspaper
I
out of
think
the
the printer or whatever.
Winner?
Right, well, I could have kept Jason Wood's copier, but I thought we worked it out where Jason kept the copier at his desk, and when he took the copier that was at her desk, I didn't know that that was an issue. Everybody has a copier. So Jason Wood had my computer and my copier purchased out of emergency management funds. And when Jason was moved from emergency management to emergency development, I left the computer and the printer with him that was purchased out of my budget. Therefore, when Wendy was moved from permits and development to my department, she should come with a computer and a printer that was purchased out of permits and development. So instead of having IT, which he did come over and move all of this stuff around, I thought it was agreed upon for everybody to leave it. But if it's a big deal, I will go get my I will have asked the IT go get my copier and my computer from Jason Wood, and they can have their stuff back. Printer, not copier.
Yeah, can I just
There's-
clarify, it's not interchangeable, copy machines are not.
So we're talking about two
We're
different.
talking about a desk.
Well,
desk.
terminology is what you're saying, is that there's a difference between a professional
Yeah.
printer like what is in that room up there versus a desktop copy machine.
So I think Commissioner Flora, what you're talking about is desktop, and what this agenda is about.
Color copier that septic needs, because they need a color copier to do their, whatever they do with their septic permit.
That is not the issue at hand right now. The issue at hand is the large
Okay.
application.
Hold on. Is this copy machine missing from there? Is, it's a printer.
It's a desktop.
Printer. It's a printer. Yes, sir. Is it still there?
No, the one that was purchased was Cindy, with Wendy.
Okay, right. So does the septic
Yeah.
person not have,
IT is
they will have one this week. Okay.
Just want to make sure everybody's got what they need to do their job.
Okay, we're getting on subject here, we're discussing this. All right, I'll accept the, I'll entertain a motion for agenda item number 14.
I'll make a motion to approve a 5-year copier lease agreement between Wilson County and Shiva Financial Services, executed by the county judge on 9/4/2025, with the update of the address to auditor's office on the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Do you have any other discussion regarding agenda item number 13?
Yeah, so all the bills we have for today, if I multiply $194.40 times 4, that's $777.60. The bill is for $941.78. That would include time that this contract was not approved. The thing
supposedly was not plugged in until here recently. So I'm just wondering how much of that bill we should really be paying. Because you certainly weren't using it in September or October, or maybe even November, because it wasn't even in the building until November. So why are we paying for something we didn't have?
My understanding, we did have that perimeter there, it just was not wrapped. Yeah, it's a story.
But I mean, you weren't using it, so why would you be paying for it if you weren't using it?
Well, it's just part of the building process when we put this building together.
Can you get that bill, Ms. Trevino? Because I want to know why there's a almost $200 difference between $194.40 by 4 months.
I would venture to say it's because the billing began at the time of the contract being authorized by the county.
Well, it says,
Regardless of it being unwrapped or used, we
it
introduced.
says on here the bill period is 10/15 through 1/15. 11, 12, so that's only 3 months. So that 3 months passed.
Was that the price before it was renegotiated? I believe that was what.
That is correct.
Can you have them bring that bill up so we can see what's in that bill? And also, I know there's been a lot of animosity and discussion and accusations and everything else over this device. And I just want to remind the court that this, and the department heads for that matter, that all leases are to be approved by this court before they're executed. And there is an Attorney General's opinion to that effect, dated July 10th of 2001. And it says, and this was the DA's office actually brought this up, and it said, because the multi-year form contract your predecessor signed neither provides for levying and collecting a tax to pay the interest and to create a sinking fund or permits the county to terminate the contract at the end of each year, it creates a constitutional debt, and that's prohibited basically by the Constitution. So this court was doing what it's supposed to do, and that is making sure that all these things come to court, that they're approved by court, and all lease agreements must have and be terminatable every year. I went and looked at the main contract for this one, and it is there, but I would venture to say that we have other leases that are not. So I would suggest that the county attorney's office sends a letter to the department heads to have them review their leases and make sure that they are terminatable.
That brings a question, Commissioner. If we've already initiated contracts, our the last one, and we're still on some of those contracts, what do we go back and say, wait a minute, we got to renegotiate this thing?
Well, not really. The purpose is that you cannot allocate money for future budgets. And that's what leases are. You're entering into a lease for 5 years, so basically you're budgeting for this year and the next 4 years. And you can't really do that because you go by budget cycle. So the concern would be if there's any lease that will not, anticipated will not be, existing lease will not be budgeted for the next 4 years for something else, whether it's the copier or the trucks or whatever, then we have to be able to terminate because we're not going to budget for the next 4 years. That's what the concern is. If there's any lease right now that we have that we anticipate will not be funded or budgeted in the future, then yes, we can go back and say, you know, it's not likely we're going to budget for the next 4 years. But that can be reviewed at budget time as well to say, well, we have a lease agreement for vehicles, for the sheriff's office, whatever, for the next 3 years, we're going to budget it, so you're fine. If at any point during the budget time we say, you know what, we don't want to budget that anymore, there's no money, or we don't need it anymore, then we have to go back to the vendor and say, we're not going to budget for these future leases. So, no, we don't, but it is something in the future subject to revocation based on budget, funding for the future. So
Yes, and I would say that we
that's a
have,
concern that we need to
we
address.
have at least 7 or 8 leases already in place now for copy machine. Several departments that are way much more than this one is. That I can tell you that I don't think we've ever brought to court that I know of, and some of them are still from leases from the previous court.
Well, the court is, the county is very good about being contractually obligated and meeting our obligations. If we're going to enter into a 4, 3-year, 5-year lease, the court has always been very diligent in making sure that that's budgeted in the future. But if there's any concern when the time comes around and these leases are brought up, then at that time, you can always go back to the vendor and say, we're not going to use this one. We're going to get out of this lease. And that's why we look at those provisions. So, no, you don't need to do that right now, but if you're looking at future leases, you want to be able to get out if the county decides we're not going to budget for that anymore in the future.
Okay, we will after this out.
I'll vote.
Okay, Mr. Bean, you bought the invoice in here, and the invoice is at the old rate, at $303.80 a month.
Because that was the agreed upon amount at the time of the submission of the contract.
Okay, but that is not what we paid them, because now the contract says $194.80.
I would defer to council on whether or not we are responsible for the original amount from the time that the agreement was, because that's what they're billing us for from the time that the original agreement was signed.
Well, if their invoice, is their invoice accurate and reflect the contract?
It accurately reflects the original contract amount.
It does.
Prior to the amendment, and
Prior to then,
Yes, we are.
ratifying
Well,
everything.
if the court wants, is ratifying this contract, as of September, then yes, we're obligated. It was delivered, even though it's sitting there wrapped. So if we got the product, they complied with their part, we accepted it, even though it was still pending approval, it's been there, and so yes, I would say we're obligated. But then it was amended, last month or the last agreement, so now we should only be bound by the reduced amount. But it does say here as of September, as long as it reflects with that contract. And that's what you're doing, because there's still a live motion, is you are ratifying that contract between you.
That's what I wanted to make sure we did the right thing.
Yes.
Right. Well, I didn't hear the word ratify in this motion, so can you restate your motion?
Commissioner Key.
Oh, I'm sorry, were you looking at me?
I thought you,
So, my motion, I make motion to approve it.
Well, you already have a motion on the floor.
So just add
An amendment.
just
Commissioner Terrence.
Maybe you'll amend your motion.
I'll amend my motion to add, to ratify the current payment,
No.
Ratify the contract.
the contract.
Yes, exactly, because if you ratify the contract previously executed by the county judge on September 4th, 2025, and to authorize payment and performance under the lease. So you're ratifying it, you're not entering into a new contract today.
Ratify to approve the contract by the release of this county, Toshiba, and Toshiba Financial Services as of 9/4/2022. Authorized payment on this.
I also, it's very low, we're not getting the lights right now.
Okay.
So,
All right.
He basically read what's on the.
It's the ratification.
may I comment this?
Yes.
I would just ask that, Ms. Stafford, if you wouldn't mind, just for clarification, since you have the point of contact that was able to reduce the dollar amount, if you would just please clarify with that person if we would be receiving revised invoice based on the amended contract, or are we held liable to pay this one? Since you approved it, I didn't know if you'd already done that or not, so if you would just verify.
Are y'all getting invoices? I asked, I think his name was Edgar. Edgar with Toshiba about to verify where he's even sending the invoices because I've never seen them.
Okay.
And I haven't heard back from him. So between me and Jason, we'll make sure the date for the address to their office is updated, and then we'll clarify that. Well, between the two of us, we'll get with Edgar who's responsible.
Okay. I wasn't sure who was doing the negotiating, so I knew it wasn't anybody in my office, so it'd probably be better if one of you can just verify before the payment is issued on this one, and we'll hold on to this one. I know it's not part of the motion, but I wanted to make sure before we move forward. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Move to agenda item number 14, this is the Hospital Permit Development Director, 14A1, utility permit, permit 854 Rio, Precinct 2, County Road 2 for review and approval.
Good morning. Commissioner King has already been given these plans for 3 water supply companies for purpose so they could be 3-4 polyline inside a HDCC safety. He's taking a look at the property or at the site.
I've been out there, looked at everything. It's good to go.
What is that? What is that?
The utility line?
I don't know, but what is that? It's kind of company. What is it?
304?
Is it the water field?
I'll make a motion to approve permit number 854 for 3 Oaks water supply for Precinct 2 on County Road 2. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, second by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion regarding agenda item 14A1? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 15, Gary Martin, Precinct 1 Commissioner, discuss take action on the Ocean County Jail Commissary audit.
We have estimated what you date on that. What's the jail audit, jail commissary audit?
I would say by the end of February.
Why is it taking so long? I mean, they need this, they need to turn this into a jail commission.
I received the 500 pages of bank reconciliations on December 23rd, so I've had 16 days to do it. So once it's completed, I'll bring it to the court for submission to the court.
But it was requested back in October. That's sending up, Sheriff, right, she says, second, 4th of February, is that sending up for your commissary audit?
Now, I didn't say the second quarter of February, it's just by the end of February, and I've contacted the, I received an email forwarded to me from Jail Commission Standards, Jail Commission that says it is to be submitted to Jail Commission within 10 days of completion of the audit, as practically as possible. So 16 days has not been enough to complete the audit. I received it from the jail administrator on December 23rd, the bank reconciliations, which was the last item that I was waiting on to get. And so, yes, she did forward me the jail commission's email back in October, and so I requested a list of items, and the last items were the bank reconciliations.
We move to agenda item number 16. We have Carl Fowler, our fire marshal, discuss take action on Prescott County fund.
Ready to vote for it? Just my recommendation for reenacting the burn ban for Wilson County. Just high winds, low humidity, and all of have some increased year grasses after the spring is over. So we're going to be a lot more susceptible to roadside starts, and we start being able to
copy for the steel that are up in that. Just on the side of the
What's our surrounding counties, they're not the only one?
they're all under man, so they've never come out with them. Which is okay. The current KPI is, with the moisture, has gone down to 564, but prior to this moisture, I watched it climb from 560 over 600. Our current average is 673 for the day. That's our average high. The max number on my scale is 800. It is recommended for forestry that anything over 600 to see the burn down. Just with our observed fuel moistures the past month and a half, I felt comfortable taking that burn down off. The fuel moistures are still holding, but this freeze will definitely impact that. I'm not willing to take that chance to see what that actually does. So it is my recommendation that we bring that burn down.
I'll make a motion to reenact the burn ban for 91 days, January 26, 2026. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, second by Commissioner Warren. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 16? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say. Ayes have it, motion passes. Again, we have our farm market called Honor, farm market called the extra.
A little premature on my progress report. Last time they was in late November. I'm not doing one next month, but so I don't have all the numbers that I had for you all last time. But currently, to date, from the last time, we've had one investigation request, which is completed and closed. We did complete a wildland class with District 2 Fire to get some other guys wildland trained. We got about 8 of the members through. So they're now type 2 firefighters in the wildland world. And just this past week, I started my people basic police officers program in POC with San Antonio College. So I let folks know that I'm semi-available after 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. Those are the hours of my class that I'm actually in classroom time. So I've been returning to all time this weekend, but this report is where it is. Some of the hours that I have in the basic things. That is my big Friday.
How long is your training that you do to get your certification?
They told us we're going to graduate in October. It's 5 phases, each phase 1 is the first of March.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank you. Any questions anymore? Good. Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 18, we have our county sheriff, sheriff's office, authorized report. Okay, very good. Thank you. Agenda item number 19, we have Mr. Logic access to collector county assessor collector monthly report. Would y'all give me a take a look at that? We'll move to agenda item number 20, Ms. Christina Lewis, County Treasurer, discuss take action on County Treasurer's financial.
Okay, y'all, I don't have a report with y'all in regards because I am working with FI, with our software company, to get one matter cleared. Everything matches. I just can't hit that refund button because they're working on the older check that went through the bank. A good check, but it did go to the bank. It's an older check that was issued. And the one that will be helping me with it, with our financial institution, is in our office with a family member. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because I've been in contact with them, the first Commissioner's Court of February. I will have that for us. But again, like I said, I went to the bank and checked all checks and deposited, or deposits, and everything had matched. Like this one check that I need them to be able to put me with in the system, and then I can physically finalize that report to show
have it by next?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am was in contact with them. The process was a little different. Once I got with them, I got we can handle that with our financial software. Then I will keep to like put that in for them and out of the office. And then yes, I will get that on the commissioner support agenda, submitted to y'all. And that is what can be, and as well as the investment report on quarterly membership. So,
All right, so since we have no documents to review, we'll just table action until next board.
yeah, that's one reflected in the minutes. I will have that report for y'all email and the agenda item. It is on.
And item number 21, Joanne Barker, Human Resource Specialist, presentation of payroll and personnel changes.
Brett McClellan was hired as a patrol deputy for the sheriff's department, making $27.70 per hour or $60,500 annually, effective February 2nd.
Thank you. And item number 22, Randall Kazuna, County Auditor, discuss and take action on county bills.
The total amount of bills for the Commissioner's Court is $1,355,143.44. Attached to the back of your report, the very last sheet is an asset that is being purchased of $20,000 or greater. That is for Road and Bridge Precinct 3 from Caldwell County Chevrolet, a 2026 Chevy Silverado, VIN number ending in 5174. In the amount of $55,925.
And it was in my budget, correct?
That is correct. There's a pretty good copy. Oh, Jeff. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
You gave them the signature sheet.
I did.
Can you tell us what the Division 33 LLC charged to Expo Center was for?
Yeah, that was a charge whenever we did the septic from the back barn back to
So the existing bank.
the existing back barn. Back to where you route that line, they went in, put flow fill in, so we can get correct compaction for that area.
What else would we rather the water line?
That was on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Once you get your CBO paid for.
report on their annual.
I'll make the motion to pay the bill for dated January 23rd, 2026, with the exception of the total chief of financial services until it's been resolved and approved by the county auditor's office. No, because I don't know what the amount is. So you got to get that correct. Or see if it's going to get correct. Second.
So if it's not, if Toshiba does not agree to reduce the amount of that invoice, because it was for the first quarter that we had it, then the invoice will be processed as such according to council. If they do agree to reduce the invoice, then that invoice it's going to be removed from the set of bills anyway, which the cover sheet will then be changed once we confirm that.
Yes, one of the other two. Okay. Motion
So I
made.
would just,
Go ahead.
the motion,
You want to rephrase it?
well, if it, Mr. Ron, if Toshiba does not agree to reduce the invoice based on the amended contract for the copier, then I heard you say that we are held liable to paying the original amount. So if they don't agree to it, then the bills as presented would be approved as such. If they do, then that invoice is not going to be paid and will be removed, and then a new invoice will be submitted at the next commissioner's court.
That was my understanding.
Right. Okay.
Either they are or they aren't. If
Correct.
they won't, then
Right.
it stands, that's fine.
So the cover sheet could potentially remain the same, or it would be ratified to be different amounts at the next court or this court. Because we don't pay it at all. See what I'm saying?
It should be reduced, because they just lower the price, it's my understanding, effectively.
From the date of the.
And I'm sure what's happening is that it hasn't got back to whoever does their billing, and so they don't know, but I'm assuming happening. So,
Unless the court wants to approve payment regardless of their response, so we don't have to wait until the next court to pay it. Either way, we're paying it, whether it's the original amount or corrected amount.
I'm sure we can get an answer pretty quick from them. They came back pretty quick on reducing.
Yeah.
So I'll
I'm just going to pull it from processing today, though, so until we get the response.
any other discussion?
Where is that an issue?
It is on Department of 532, I believe. No, 05. 0522.
0523. On page 2.
So I'm saying that amount is $941.78. Well, if we're gonna take it out, our habit has always been to name the exact dollar amount that we were paying. So let's use a calculator and take it out.
But if you approve that, then that means I can't pay the bill if we are going to be held to paying that bill.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying we just leave it
I
as
think it
such.
works better the way that it's happening.
Okay.
Because if they agree to a lower bill, she's going to pay that lowest bill.
And if they don't, then it would be the same amount.
Yes, so we'll just do that.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. We move to agenda item number 23. Any markers in one, informational items, no deliberation or action. This session is for receipt of information only. Commissioners may ask clarifying or make face questions, no deliberation, decisions, or actions of staff will occur. One, announcements by commissioners. Two, status updates, information only.
Yeah, so, I worked with, Ms. Evelyn to put this on there. This way, we don't have to sign up for public comment. We have an item here if we need to make a comment or if we feel about something that's coming up or whatever. So under announcements, I mean, basically, I just want to say congrats to everybody that participated in the stock show and froze to death the last 2 days during the auction period. So I think things went pretty well considering we had all the construction and everything else. And so congratulations goes out to all those kids that participated in that.
So, Commissioner, you want to do this at the end? Just have that one
Yeah,
segment?
and
That way
yeah, they can
all-
take my name off of it. It can be a recurring item so that it's on there every time. You know, a lot of times things come up between, because obviously we set this agenda over a week ago.
A little offended, I almost said commissioner, didn't say judge.
Well, it should be, we can change that to court. I'll change my request.
So, you know, he needs to remain quiet. It's just like if we wanted to ask how the progress is going.
Yeah.
See how.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, if I may, just, if you want a status on something, just let that staff member know, because it was something from, Dawn or Treasurer or somebody, if they're not here, you might want to let them know ahead of time. I'd like a status on the grant, on the application, on, something broke, this is getting fixed, right? It just allows you to, in open court, discuss things without having to put each agenda item. As long as there's no action that's going to be taken or deliberated on, then we can bring up just as Commissioner Martin did. Thank you for giving us status. And you can just make this a standing agenda item if that's what you want to do.
I think it's a great idea. I also want to say, Christine, still here? Good job on pulling that off over there with the stock show. Y'all did a great job. A lot of people came up to me thanking how much progress is going next door. A lot. I thought they were, but we left the side doors open so the kids could watch the contractors working out there. And it was, again, a lot of the comments, so positive comments. All right, anything else on that last item? Commissioner, y'all want to hear?
The only thing is, I mean, the show barn, the new build is going pretty good. They got footers and they got beams poured Friday last week. So they're moving forward on that, and you know, it's a big progress that we're moving forward on. We should have the building showing up next week, so at the end of this week. So we got 6 weeks of construction, so we'll have metal going up in the air here soon. So that construction's going to take off big time. I know Commissioner Bacon has the San Antonio River Authority scheduled for March 7th, and that will continue. We will still be in construction phase, so it's going to be the same thing that will happen at that time.
You want to mention something about the meeting? We'll have that ceremony.
We'll do that later on once we get the progress to it.
We're all. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about collection, but she wanted to
Just
chime in
real
on this.
quickly, I just wanted to give the court an update. I did have a sit-down face-to-face meeting, Kayla and I did, with the Texas General Land Office regarding the $1.287 million that we were awarded for the shelter of last resort, which is the front part, the expansion of the front part. They have given us the checklist, and so once we submit all of the checklist requirements, all of the paperwork that's part of on our part, then the next part would be I'll be bringing to the court for a decision on selecting the method of construction, and then from that point, then we'll go out for our procurement requirements for that project. So that'll be in the next 30 to 60 days.
Can I get a copy of that contract, please?
The GLO contract.
All right. Anything motion to adjourn?
1 second, Judge. And I know we're moving this way. In regards to that, Sarah has to make final confirmation and send me the bullet point, but right now it is believed that it's going to be March 7th, the first Saturday of the month. As soon as they take and make that available, I will push it out to the public. We ask for the public's patience because this is not the exact way that we would choose to be running this event. It really was nice when we were able to circle around the building, and we just need to tolerate what we have to work with whenever it comes that time, because there's going to be a better day, because our exposition center is going to be something to be proud of. So,
I said Sarah, for clarification, the collection event.
but it's San Antonio River Authority that is sponsoring it. This time it's selected by them with a little bit of input from us, but it allows for the county to take and get rid of waste free of charge. And anytime we can do something like that to help benefit our county, I think it's a good idea. We graciously accept their partnership in this. Absolutely.
See, somebody posted on next door out, might be your food safety commission, they dumped a bunch of tires in the river there.
No, they dumped some in the creek, but yes.
Yeah. And there was a lot of 40 and 50 tires. Right now, I heard 2 or 3 saying how.
Sure.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Cardinal, second by Commissioner King. All in favor, say aye.
And we are adjourned at 12:23. Well, I did it. Got Joe in.